Dear Sophia, thank you for your email. We would be delighted to talk to you about this topic. Here is the Google Meet link. Thanks for reaching out to us, Erin and Luna. Hello, how are you?
Hello! It's so finally nice to meet you.
Same here. By the way, I invited some additional researchers to the Google Meet. They should be coming soon. So, what questions do you have about bobcats?
Can you give a brief overview on what bobcats are, like their diet and life cycle?
Bobcats, also known as Lynx rufus in Latin, are medium-sized cats. They are typically 2 feet tall, so they are slightly larger than house cats. They possess slightly tufted ears and short bobbed tails, hence the name. They hunt both day and night, but research shows that they prefer to hunt at dawn and dusk. They are also pretty shy and avoid human contact, which is why it's so difficult to find bobcats regularly in the wild.
Bobcats are restricted to only mixed forests because that's where they feel most comfortable hunting, needing a wide range for attacking other animals. They are absent in highly cultivated areas of northern mid-states, and while they were once widespread and common in New Jersey, they are much more threatened now.
Some diets they have include prey on rabbits, rats, squirrels, ground nesting birds, turkeys, and even small/sick deer. They only eat 3 pounds of meat at a time. They also have strong vision and hearing that contributes to their hunting skills.
Breeding-wise, bobcats often breed between February and June. Mother bobcats typically bring live animals like mice so their kittens can practice hunting at a young age, displaying their intelligence. Bobcats become independent at about 10 to 12 months of age and live up to 12 to 13 years in the wild.
I also wanted to know about where bobcats are often located and what areas in New Jersey that are more endangered than others.
So, it's really difficult to determine what areas, particularly in New Jersey, are more threatening to bobcats. In fact, it's important to note that at one point, bobcats were entirely extinct in New Jersey. It was thanks to a state project that began during the 70s that revived bobcat populations by capturing around 20 bobcats from New England and releasing them to northern New Jersey.
It was thanks to this study that bobcats are even living in New Jersey. However, regardless, they're still struggling. The main reason that limits their ability to grow is urbanization. Wait a second, I think one of our researchers is joining the call. I think it's Gretchen Fowles.
It's that habitat connectivity issue that really is a big factor because they're so wide-ranging. They really need, lots of space to be able to meet their daily and seasonal requirements, and then the young too, especially the males, need space to be able to disperse and find habitat of their own.
I think Eric Olson is also joining the Google Meet. Mr. Olson, could you also provide some information that helps Sophia's project?
Recognizing the threats to bobcats, one of the biggest threats is habitat fragmentation. They need intact landscapes to be able to move. Like humans and other animals, they have daily needs to find water, food, mates, and they need large open spaces to live out their life cycles. And so we created Bobcat Alley to create a protected corridor, so that bobcats have the ability to move on a natural landscape.
To add some context, Bobcat Alley is a project made by New Jersey's chapter of Nature Conservancy that preserves bobcat populations by purchasing land and extending the boundaries for this species to reproduce and grow in size.
So, to sum up, the general areas where bobcats lack reproductive growth are urbanized areas that prevent them from breeding.
What would you say are the main reasons for endangerment of bobcat species? Are there any commonalities in your research?
That's a really good question.
Although we have mentioned urbanization affecting bobcat populations, we haven't really discussed the main root cause.
What's actually one of the most biggest perils for a bobcat is a road. The roadways are killing about 15 to 20% of our bobcat population every year. I'm sure you all see roadkill from time to time on our roads. Most often you're seeing deer or raccoons or possums. Remarkably, bobcats are struck every year.
This is what makes helping these populations so difficult.
And so in New Jersey especially, this is challenging because we have a lot of urbanization, a lot of roads, especially a lot of roads with a lot of traffic on them. crisscross the entire state. And so it's kind of seems to have limited where they are in the state as a result of the urbanization patterns in New Jersey, with central New Jersey especially being so urbanized and so many roads.
What can we do to preserve these species in our communities?
This is where we hope that your project can help spread the word to others. There are multiple ways that we can ensure that bobcats are no longer considered as threatened or endangered species.
We have a tool now called NJ Wildlife Tracker that people can submit records of bobcats and other wildlife to us in a format that we can see right away.
I always encourage people to get involved in their local open space committees. Get active. Bobcats need protected space. If we don't protect the habitat, then it's at risk for future development. We are constantly advocating for policy changes to reduce the roadkill impact. That's the biggest threat to bobcats. And so we need to provide safe passage for bobcats and other animals to cross safely under or over roadways. And so active citizens to help educate policymakers, whether it's at the town level or the state level or even at the federal level, to just raise awareness about the perils of our roadways on our wildlife species and what it's doing to the populations of our wildlife.
Would you also recommend people slow down when driving in rural areas?
For sure. According to Fowles' research, she also concluded that the 3 main actions we can do to help all rare wildlife are 1. Protect land, 2. Manage and restore habitats, and 3. Mitigate the dangers of road crossings as a whole.
So, overall, bobcats are a species similar to house cats, and because of urbanization and road hazards, they're going extinct. In fact, they were extinct once before, but now they are thriving slightly better. Regardless, however, the best way to preserve these species is by helping in your communities, involving yourself in action plans like Bobcat Alley to restore wildlife habitats, and driving safely in rural areas.
Perfect, you got this. Best of luck on your science fair project.